I've been creating content for more than 10 years. I'm going to give you the pros and cons of these box lights. Stay all the way till the end. That's where the cons are going to be. But let's talk about the pros first. As you would expect, you get 2 lights. Now, I say it like that because there are plenty of light sets where you just get one, and you can actually get by with just one. But when you can have them on each side of you where you're filming, that actually helps if you're doing a talking head video. Now, if you just need a fill light, you could probably get by with just one. And these do come in packages of one, so you could do that. It just really, it's case dependent on what you plan to do with it. But for talking heads, this is the best way. And as you can see, I've got it angled right here where I'm normally sitting when I film, my backdrop, the rest of the room, got litter box, and the lights come in to the sides. They're not directly on me, but that's just enough light where I'm lit up. When the sunlight is nice, I like to have just this lit with the sun coming in on me, and then I leave this one turned off. And that gives you half of your face more in the shadowy bits, and the other half of your face all lit up. And that's a fun look to have too. I know my studio is incredibly messy, but we're not talking about that today. All I can say is that creative people are often messy. Now, I don't know if you noticed when I was showing you around that I have little stickers on mine, and they also correspond to the remotes, because when I first got them, and still to this day, whenever I try to turn one on, it inevitably is the wrong remote. And there's no way to get the right one unless you label them, in my opinion. It is possible to go light A on one side, light B on the other side, and then all you've got to do is label one of these. Regardless, you're going to have to label something. So I decided to label both of these and both of these. If you see the QR code pop up, that means you can take your phone and scan it and go right over to the store and have a closer look at the lights or whatever I'm talking about at the moment on the screen. Now, you don't necessarily have to use the remotes because it does have a switch that turns it off and on. And that really is all that you could need, possibly. But the one big con I'm going to tell you at the end has to do with the actual switches / remotes. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. We'll get back to that. These are your typical stands. You loosen it here, and that will allow you to move the legs up or down. If you take these all the way out and you lose them, that is a bad, bad thing. You can adjust them all the way up like this, and then you just tighten it back and it stays in that position. If you don't get it all the way tightened, you'll just be hanging out one day and these things will go slide, slide, slide. See how I was able to push it down very easily? So whatever you do, make sure these things stay on tight. You can have it all the way flat where it's basically doing the splits right here like this. I'd still go ahead and tighten it just for safety. I don't know, I do those kinds of things. It has a very wide profile when you do it that way, so it's going to take up a lot of space. This is as small of a profile as you can give it, like this. It won't go any smaller than that. And the problem with having it adjusted where you're trying to take up a smaller space is that it does not feel as sturdy when it's like this. So I actually caution you to be careful with that. I like to put it about in the middle where it doesn't take up quite as much space as when it's lying flat, but where it feels quite a bit more sturdy than having it all the way up. If you've ever dealt with any kind of tripods or anything of this nature, you know exactly how these work because they pretty much all work the same. You adjust the poles the exact same way, you screw or unscrew, and it comes down based upon how far you want it to go. Easy peasy. These can go all the way down. You can carry them with you if you're going to be shooting out somewhere. We're going to come all the way to the top of it, and let me show you the way it adjusts exactly the same. You're going to want to loosen it, and this can go up or down. Yes, there's rattling in there, and I'll explain in just a second what that is. And tighten it. I tend to keep this a little bit looser than my knobs on the actual stand because I want to adjust this quickly and on the fly. And so I'll keep it not loose enough where it's coming down on its own, but just enough where I can very quickly adjust it. That's going to be personal preference. This needs to stay attached because this is how you attach the bar to the actual light. So this is kind of like your handle if you want to adjust it up and down. It also swivels so you can move it back and forth however you need. And actually the swiveling is the easiest part about it. It's way easier than adjusting it up and down. It comes with this, and it comes with this for dispersing the light a little bit better. It's all Velcro. And inside of there, it's like this so that when the light comes out, it diffuses it everywhere with this silver kind of reflective light here. The actual light itself doesn't get terribly hot. I mean, you don't want to be touching this if it's been on for a few hours, but it's not like if you come around and touch this, you're going to get hurt. It throws off some heat now When I have these things turned on, I have to go adjust my air and turn it down about 2 degrees. This thing is the bane of my existence. It will not stay in. I do typically move my lights around. I use them all around my room wherever I'm recording. So it's not a sedentary light for me. If you never move your lights, you probably won't have this problem. But pretty much every time I move my lights, this thing comes out. It just does not want to stay in there. This is actually comes out. You get the lights with the whole thing. You can replace these lights. I've had this for at least 2 years. I cannot tell you how many times I have left these on in my room for the night accidentally and come back the next morning. They've been on for 8 hours. Even after 2 years of doing that with some regularity, still the same lights. So don't worry about having to replace those light bulbs anytime soon. They'll probably last longer than you. And then you just press it back in there. It's got one little strip of Velcro on each side right here in the middle, and it stays on perfectly. Never had a problem with that. That's not one of the problems I've had. And just to make sure you understand, both of the lights are exactly the same. I'm just showing you the one light just for ease, but they're exactly the same. They both come together. Everything about them is identical. Now, setting it up when you first get it literally takes minutes. I say you could probably have this assembled in under 5 minutes. So don't worry if you're not someone who's great at assembling things, because you don't have to be. Even without instructions, you could figure this thing out. Connect the poles, connect the light itself, screw in the light bulb, put this around the outside, and you're done. Just minutes, really. This is the cord, and the reason it's like this is because it's not very long, unfortunately. It is about 6 feet long, so I have an extension cord on the other one, which is why it's not sticking up, but I didn't have an extra extension cord, so this was just hanging out. I'm short, so I walk under it a lot. But you might want to get some extension cords. Go check those out. I do suggest that you get some, even just as backup, in case you get these in the house and you don't quite have the room and the clearance where you're wanting to put them. So just have the extension cords as backup, order them all at the same time, make your life a little bit easier. Shall we move on to what the lights actually look like and onto that con that I promised you? When you come into the room and you're ready to turn your lights on, they don't work to turn the lights on. I don't know if I got defective remotes or if everyone's are going to be this way, but from the first day I got them, the remotes never work. So my literal routine when I walk into this room is walk in. I walk in on that side, I turn that light on, I come around my desk and I turn this light on. I'm gonna move this just a little bit so we're not being swamped by that light. Now we have some light to see by, whereas before it was really dark, so you can tell that it does give off good light. Now we're going to adjust it. It has 3 modes and several, I don't know the exact number of colors, but we're going to adjust the colors. I'm going to put the camera behind the light so that you can see the change in front. So let's do that right now. I've got this one facing towards me. It's a little bit closer. This one's set back a little bit further, but they're both facing towards me. As I mentioned, I've not been able to turn on using the on button on the remotes. I just turn them on the switch when I come in. In fact, I turn that switch on 3 times and get it to the white light because that's how I like it. But you can also control that from the remotes, which is good because if you're sitting down, you've got your camera adjusted, you've got everything ready, but the light's just a little too bright, then you can get the remotes out. However, this is where the big con comes in because these remotes, they're not that great. Let's start by showing you the colors. We're in the white mode. So daylight basically is what it is. Let's do a warm mode. And then we've got this blue light. So the mode is right here at the bottom. Now we're going to start on the blue light and we're going to go up in brightness. They're both turned all the way down, and now we're going to take them all the way up. The brightness is at the top of the remotes. That's the blue light, and it's really not that bright. Let's change the mode to this more of a white light. We're going to turn it all the way down. It's very, very bright. This, when you have it on the white and it's lighter, it's a very, I love it. This is the way I like mine to be, is white. I usually have it up on about 3, sometimes 2, and depending on how much light's coming in from my window, only 1. Now we're going to turn it back all the way up. It's going to get very, very bright. That's so bright that I have to squint when it comes on. Now we're going to change the mode to the yellow. This is called outdoor light, and it is very, very yellow. Going to turn it down, and now all the way up. Also on the remote, you have the warm or cold button. So let's say that you're working, you're like, this is way too cold. Instead of changing the mode, you can just increase or decrease coldness levels. So we're going to go colder, and in 2 steps, we're already to the white. We're not turning down how bright it is. We're just cycling through the modes. So there are several whites and several brights and not necessarily just turning it up. I hope that makes sense. And if we go the other direction, and of course, even though I told you that the remotes are the con, they're working perfectly for me right now. But normally they don't. Normally I'm work, and they're not working. It could be that maybe I need to replace the batteries. Don't know why I would, because I did that recently. They just sometimes don't work. I'm gonna get them off this mode because they don't look good like that. Now we're back to white. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. That's better. Now it's not blinding me. Another thing you can do, these don't have to work on the exact same thing. Sometimes I'll have more of a yellow light here and more of a white light here. And since they're spaced differently, that can also have a nice look to it. So you can adjust it however you like, and they don't have to be synchronistic. It's whatever you want. That's the off switch. This one worked, this one didn't. Now what it didn't show you, it's gonna come on for me now. What it didn't show you is how often it gets its wires crossed. For instance, I'll be trying to control B and A will be changing. Or I'll be trying to control A and B will be changing. And that happens frequently. It's a minor annoyance. It is definitely not a deal breaker because this is a great price point for a really decent light. It's just one of those things that annoys me. If you're not annoyed by little tiny things like that, it probably won't even bother you. You may not even notice. You'll be like, oh, that's just what I wanted. But for me, it's like, that's what I wanted, but not the way I wanted it. That's the kind of person I am. These can be very, very tall. I didn't even have them as close to as tall as they can get, and they can go down quite low also. So no matter what size your desk is, whether you're standing, whether you're sitting, you can adjust it and it can hit you anywhere in the room you are, all the way sitting down on the floor, standing up on a ladder. They're great because they're also really light. You can carry them around your room and use them any old which way you want. So I hope that answered all the questions you could have about these lights. Don't forget your extension cord. Probably ought to get the batteries you need. They take they take triple A's, the triple A's. And I'll also have those linked. I use the Amazon batteries because they last as long as any other battery I've ever used. And you can get it on Subscribe and Save. And it's always such a great deal. Hope that helps and that you're able to make a choice that's going to help you in your filming. If you like this kind of content, give me a like right now so I know to keep making other camera equipment videos for you. Right here is a video I did on comparing some cameras. I think you might enjoy that. See you real soon.